Kwa kaya nyama nkoda gane nado chaminga gboko mu yala mako onya nyaga ala ba mi subo fia oro ba bodo gana ta mi ajo fia ko ba ro fo da chaminga akpalo
chami na segbe ne do juko gboro Ago.
Hello. Yo, apa nami? Togwe omi segwe da, togwe ga segwe ya. Awe mi agoto chi
agotoro. Ago mede kuku fiaole nu fo gweta made kuku ba mi sia mede roto. Please, let's have some silence.
Chanie Ase
Togwe
Wado nous tous parti faire Zimenola bon Plola pété wase Wado mi avait du plola koko bon bon mi a toro Togwe a fait des rien ebe o ite igbo akunya ha foklan ya dake gbe ya re ifonwere iple yo fiao o fe gbe vado igbo be ya va du come e abele ke onyo he jei he o ona o lebe no wa o va be avado gbe ne ya imi asi yivio play yo amechichio o le igbo ape ova ta eyazo mau ntone yiradeji ne moke zole de kuse ne jejini ẹnu gbogbo kò hó kọ́fẹ́dé o apẹ́ni apẹ́kọ̀ yàda máa ń tù tí ní fi kò pọ́ tsoere nẹ́dọ̀ tẹ̀fẹ́ zìẹ̀wò tẹ̀fẹ́ ẹ̀wò èyí kárẹ́jì bẹ́ẹ̀ máa ń yíra dé jí èyí náà yíra dé jí dé fẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ náà ga gbọ́ igbọ́ dé mẹ́la kò wá váyò ava wà ga lo tó owó kẹ ta apẹ́ni lò níyàwó ẹ̀zọ̀.
Yo, Chairman Segbiera.
Excellency, the regional chairman gave the reason or the manner why the delegation is here. And Togbe, who also on behalf of the chiefs, also accepted the amania and also accepted the drinks you have offered as a form of tradition. So thank you very much for coming. The chiefs would like to know the people or the big wigs in the delegation. And so I humbly invite the MP for the constituency, Honorable Benjamin Komla Odo, to introduce the delegation.
Yo, ma didi nyo mask albe ne pon la wata yi mome. Togbe chami. Beku asewado fiao pete gbo. Ya togbe o. Ple togbe gan. Bobe NDC towe. E ale mi adome egbe. Beno va po emida. Ame pekpe wo pete limia to pete kele fi ya se gbe mi ke bene ma de ameko ke va la fia mi ye sogbo ake ma ta da mo pete fia ta ma de edewe akofia alebe nyanya mewe ke va efie yake nyenya be nyenya MP na fin to metala ma ba je gometo novinye MP so se ke plo mi veri ba je gometo fimi Honorable Kwami Agboja Adakulu MP Honorable Joycelyn Tete, North Dying. Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa. Eyezu. Emeni famia mia. Maiji, amigo que me yo vivía yo en MP que gale dorme le parlement. Nya no vie de ka Fifi Kwete, honorable. Eya no aplau nu ke tu south. Fifi e da sile don. Gake nyaga senko. Etuwa. Nya iji ple patito bubu ke va. Nya no vito akrofu Ludwig akpene ronje elemia dome. Afeto Elvis Afriye Ankra Kenya mi afe director of elections. Afeto Felix Kwachi elemia megan blik. Afeto Sylvester Mensa enyemia fe committee de kasesesere Alhaji Hudu Yaya Ameva Fonami Vaya, Nyape Regional Chairman, Political Engineer, Henry Ametefe, Regional Secretary, James Gunu Ekpledo, Miaji Professor Joshua Alabi, et que manage Nyabe campaign, elle est mia demain. Nyabe Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra, elle est mia demain. Chief of Staff, Ameve, no mia sivai. Banto ya Honorable Prosper Bani, elle est mia demain. Nyano, Ekua, dans soi, elle est mia demain. Mrs. Bawa Mokhtari, elle est mia demain. Avant, mais coucou, ne me gagne la merebe, mais yo tient autre kem. MFA. Niedo national hierarchy of the party, but General Asiadu Nketia. Mosquito. Mais d'autres c'est là les terres vivien. Then Niafe National Chairman Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. Ke amasusa benyanya wota. Nyano Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajima. Ke Fifia Amerike Chobe Amerike Timia yu baby avada penami. Quelle NDC nous? C'est bien les yeux 2024. Honorable His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. MFA Edo Etori Fimi Akpenami.
So, Your Excellency, the former president and the running mate, we thank the MP for the constituency, Honorable Benjamin Kodo, for the introduction. Ago Etonyo Oklen no made kuku gadebe nchema no miatepe le made duko meto fia miaba mekpepewe ake made kuku me anamado English gba ko ne sezirika plo no oto bete no sezirika ake mado tafla checho ti amigine duko meto be list nya ejiji nto ke hele mano yo a do ya ko gave majo tato kuku de mea America veroji ko matwasi chira ko menye ne mebua gbebe nyima yo America nko amedo benko ta me de kuku gare na mesiame. Your Excellency, I will stand on behalf of the chiefs and people of Asogli to do a few introductions. Though I have a very tall list here, I will just give a highlight of the list that I have. Looking at the days directly in front is Chiamiga Amwaku, a paramount linguist, leading the other linguists to this program is the paramount linguist leading the other linguists to this program. We have Togbe Ajima, the fourth, a Tamfia of Ho, followed by Togbe Anipi, the third, the chief of Ho Heve. The same line we have Togbe Aji Lankle Hosu, the 12th, the warlord of the Asogli state. That same line to the right, we have Togbe Kasa, the third, the chief of Ho Ahwet. We also have Togbe Agbi, the third, the paramount chief of Ho Viepe traditional area. And just behind that line, we have Togbe Dikro, the third from Akwepe Gaja. Followed by Togbe Kotoku, the 11th, the paramount chief of Pengwe traditional area. The next online is Togbe Drake Chigbe, the 4th, the paramount chief of Akwepe traditional area. And permit me to jump one person. The next to come is Togbe Dajawa, the 3rd, the paramount chief of Shian traditional area. Followed by Togbe Sakrafo, the 3rd from Go Viepe traditional area, the paramount chief. Is followed by Togbe Atiku, the 3rd from Takla traditional area. The next behind them is Togbe Adase, the 3rd, Togbe Adase, the 5th from Ho Ahwen. We have other queen mothers on the days, and to my left here, where to your left also, we have our elders and other queen mothers supporting the Asogli state. If I want to continue now, we may not end, so please permit me to end it here and give a very final introduction. We have our father, who was the former president, the immediate former president of the National House of Chiefs, a former Council of State member, that Bogumefia of the Asogli state, in the person of Togbe Apede the 14th. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that is the women from the state singing the praises of the Agogo Mafia. Thank you very much. Nyono akpenemi. Ya ayiji. Mia biacho mia to si be le dekonu noa. Na me va fia gan pe me alo fia pe me ko le be no kla togbe abia mocho gbo. Be nu sia nu ke hewa wa e me ne fa mia. Na mia biacho mia be konu to si be wa gere to me. Le be wa ko gbeji ne mia to ne mi. We now have the traditional prayer. The traditional prayer.
Atishiome Clamilo. Tishiome Clamilo. Tishiome Clamilo. Tishiome Tonya Gbelo. O ati Blamsaga. Asegbe Adomia Tamegbolo. Miano Zoji Asegbelo. Miano Hosi Asegbelo. Johamedomo Asegbelo. Aholo Asegbelo. Yabo Asegbelo. Adabatram Asegbelo. Zagata Asegbelo. Wado a ho trompete pete bolo. Ado popo pete bolo. Ado Asogli trompete pete bolo. Ado popo pete bolo. Masawa. Akpopo me fia da nunye. Abe India ye. Ise kokoko. La yo fia same. Kaka ya sere. Oh. Obe ejukulola. Hoho. Henye bubunato. John. Dramani. Mahama. Aya le hofo dai. Obia manie. Aba o. Imevade. Abonjo. La ya te fa mere. Akoke o dafa ire. Epo bare. Yawa munganto metawere. O da konei. Anto. Ayatare. Agbere. Ifabere. Yavada pene. Amunganu to meto pete. Gakade. Kehe igada amunganu to mere. Abe bubu nenere. Ajabe adoto. Aya. Agbogbo mefia. Togbe afede. Wienelia. Agbo. Yakelebere. Igade. Amunganu to me. Keho gbore. Meva papala si fuflo. Eko aha. Ega. Plito kokokofe. Ayante fede. Ajabe nemi kokbeji. Ina mi atogbe ewe. Togbe agbara su mele o. Obe na ma kokbeji. Ina mi lo. Menye to he. Ya mele egbe dora lo. Ama egbe dore ya togbe o fe nko me. Ina mi aho. Agbogbo fi abe. Mi ayira daji. Be anu tu o me. Ho vare. Ate ma ate o. Baba Mabio wa doke ho afọ vade na wade na tro yi de efe no fe le enti fafa me ta mi oja chieke na mi ahono na mi ayira de jilo patrola de na tro falo Oya tafa makwewa ami auto ji hake ya ta hake anemi ahono anekpala he mesore anyimenya olu no gakpe tere nyimenya ta ha ko konam amebo mani ya hoho anehe mi nuere obe eketo aya anwu ya omuoda nem ya nwire eketo ode anwulo nem ene fa kuse jaja chire ene jalo patro lade ne trofalo ho aha makwewa amia toji hake na mi ahono na onyebe minwe he mi mure ya muire keto onlo me bo ma ni ya hoholo emedefa seku
Yo. So we thank our traditional leaders for the traditional prayer by those in charge. The konu bedodorata. Ya ide wanaoji ya se ya medere vire cho agbalengololaga ne NDC party egbo. We now take a short remark from the General Secretary, the only General Secretary of the great NDC party, Honorable Johnson Asiedu Nketia.
Yo, Togwe Chame, Your Royal Majesty, the Chief of Asogli. I wanted, if I had been alerted that I would be speaking, I would have prepared to speak in Ever today. But those who know me know that Monday being my birthday, I don't speak ever on Mondays. So permit me to address you in English for the last time. Next time when I come, I'll be speaking ever. Well, we are here to give thanks to the chiefs and people of Volta region for the effort they put in to vote massively for NDC and our flag bearer, President John Dramani Mahama, in the immediate past elections. We think that it would have been proper and more appropriate to visit every palace in Volta region and to visit every constituency in Volta region and to visit every church in Volta region, because you are entitled to the thanks. You've earned it. But because of the dangerous times we are living in the midst of COVID, we realized it wasn't going to be possible. So we decided to condense the whole program into 4 events that will take place in the regional capitals. So as we speak and address Togbe this morning, we want to use this opportunity to reach out to our grandfathers, the paramount chiefs in the whole region through this forum, to extend our appreciation for their support, for their prayers, and for their good advice, which helped us to prosecute the 2020 campaign as we did. From here, we will be going to meet some pastors in the whole municipality, and through them, we will extend the thanks to all other churches in the region. We are hopeful that the disease may come down and there will be opportunity in future for us to reach out to every other person who deserves thanks. But before I take my seat, I just want to make very few remarks, and very briefly. Togbe Chame, you realized that before the 2016 elections, we were in this palace to seek the prayers and advice of Togbe Afede. He did. He offered his advice in a brutally frank manner. Some of us were not happy at all when we were leaving this palace, because every politician at times wants to hear good news and not bad news. So we felt at that time that has Togbe abandoned his children the way he has been advising us? Now the advice is different. When the 2016 elections came to pass and we lost the presidency, we realized in the truth, in the saying, that those who want to help themselves will tell you what you want to hear. But those who want to help you will tell you the truth. When we did the review of the elections, we realized that Togbe was reflecting the feelings of the people and the reality on the ground at that time. And that it was a clarion call on us to mend some of our ways if we had to succeed. We didn't take the advice kindly, and we suffered the consequence. Later on, we had another occasion to encounter Togbe as the president of the National House of Chiefs, when they were raging controversy about how the 2020 elections ought to be conducted. And some of us found it needful to approach the National House of Chiefs and explain to them what we thought was going wrong, for their advice. Togbe at that time, as president of the National House of Chiefs, did not mince words. He spoke in the same frank and brutal manner that he spoke to us here at the National House of Chiefs and directed that advice to the Electoral Commission and cautioned the Electoral Commission that if things were not done properly, for them to deliver an election that was acceptable to Ghanaians, the results would not be palatable for us. Through to Togbe's caution, we came out of the 2020 election with nearly 10 Ghanaian citizens slaughtered, with an election that nobody had confidence in, including those who conducted it. They didn't believe themselves. That's how they kept changing the results. Then the third time, we heard about Togbe was when the elections for the National House of Chiefs were about to be conducted. Togbe delivered a very profound statement and cautioned that the chieftaincy institution represented the last hope of Ghanaians. And though, if we are not careful, and we sacrifice the dignity of that institution on the altar of other considerations, we will end up weakening the chieftaincy institution in the country. And the results will not be good for anybody in the country. As usual, those to whom that advice was directed never listened. They went into the election. The results was proclaimed, and the conclusion was that the institution and its image was dented. As we speak here, there are various challenges that this nation is facing, which many politicians don't have the courage to address for fear of being characterized as A, B, or C. Many pastors don't have the courage to advise. Then I remember Togbe's advice to the House of Chiefs. Because everybody expects the chief's voice to be heard now, loud and clear. But where is that voice? So Togbe, if I had the strength to carry a big stone, I would have brought it here. Because you represent more than a prophet. Everything you have said in the past has come to pass. We want to urge you to be strong, remain steadfast, and continue to speak the truth. We also now learn to accept your bitter truths. So thank you very much, and may God grant you good life, long life, and good health. Thank you very much.
So we thank the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, General Mosquito, for his remarks. Shall we once again Anda kukube miaga doto ase parti epezikpi menola chefe bekwire. Shall we now take a brief remark from the national chairman of the great NDC party, Honorable Ofosu Ampofu.
Thank you very much. Let me stand on the established protocols and to pay my compliment to Your Royal Majesty, Togbe Afede, and the chiefs and people of the Asogli state. It's always a pleasure to be before Togbe and his people. And anytime that we are in the Volta region, I feel very excited because there is no place like home. As the General Secretary has already indicated, we have embarked on a nationwide thank you tour to express our appreciation to the people of Ghana for the massive support they give the NDC during the just ended presidential and parliamentary elections. We dare say that NDC never lost the 2020 elections. And Togbe, the party is eternally grateful to the good people of Volta region for the continuous unflinching support you offer the NDC. The NDC as a party do not take that support for granted. And so we are here today leading our flag bearer and the running mate to offer our heartfelt gratitude from the depth of our hearts to say the people of Volta region, thank you very much. I was not born on Monday, so I can say it. But as we stand before you, Your Royal Majesty, and the good people of the Asogli State, as indicated by the General Secretary, our intention earlier on was to travel through all the constituencies and physically shake their hands, touch their hearts, and say thank you to them. But the circumstances that we find ourselves do not permit us to do that. And so we are using you as a point of contact to reach out to all and sundry in the region and to say that thank you very much. So let me also take this opportunity to reflect on a few issues that I think will be dear to the hearts of Togbe Mamao and the people of this state. The Electoral Commission, now, only a few days ago, addressed some ECOWAS MPs in Winneba and stated that she has conducted the best of elections since the inception of the 1992 Constitution. It was a bit intriguing because I tried to understand where she is coming from. And it was very, very difficult to understand where she was coming from. Because this is one election where even in the Volta region here, less than 24 hours to the elections, the Electoral Commission, with no law, by fiat, prevented the people of Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe from participating in the presidential and parliamentary elections. Indeed, they voted in the presidential elections, were prevented from participating in the parliamentary elections. Since 1992, nothing like that has happened to our electoral landscape. And so I wonder why she decided to praise herself to the high heavens that she has conducted the best of elections. As we speak now, the election results has changed more than 5 times. And nobody knows what the real outcome of the 2020 elections are. Your Majesty, as if that is not enough, as we speak now, our local government systems and approval of district, metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives are under serious threat. And I believe that as traditional authorities, one area where your interest lies is the development of our localities, which is the preserve of the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. The laws are very clear as to how the approval process should go. Only yesterday, in Swamai district in the Western North, 19 members of the assembly were eligible to endorse the presidential or the president nominee for the position of district chief executive. Something bizarre happened, and it is not only that. It happened in Bibiani and has happened in Cape Coast, Asin South, where the assembly members were visibly prevented by security agencies to enter into the assembly hall to go and exercise their constitutional right of endorsing the president nominee. In Bibiani, similar thing happened. In Kumau, the member of parliament, who is also a member of the district assembly but have no voting right, was prevented from even entering assembly hall. He is the elected representative of the people. He was not permitted to enter into the assembly hall. And the bizarre incident yesterday was that in the Swaman district, out of the 19 assembly members, only 8 of them, 7 government appointees with only 1 elected member, were taken to some secret place and were considered to have been those present and voting, and 8 of them voted, and the results was declared that the DCE has been approved by 100%. This has never happened in the history of this country. And as a local government practitioner who has been in the system for nearly 3 decades, I have never seen and heard of this bizarre incident before. Togbe, all our systems in this country are under threat. Our governance architecture is under threat. Today, 8 people go in, the remaining 11 are prevented. They did not even know where the election was taking place. There was no presiding member to preside over the election to make it legitimate. But by the use of brute force, they are approving these. So today, rule of law has changed into rule of men. And so men with power are applying power to achieve what they want to achieve at the expense of the time-tested principle, of the cardinal principle of our democracy and our constitutionality, which is the rule of law. I want to bring this to the attention of Togo and the entire Ghanaian citizenry, that the time has come for us to rise up and speak. Because our institutions are being bastardized. Secondly, as we speak today, the level of hardship that has been inflicted by Akufo-Addo Bawumia government is unbearable and unimaginable. Today, fuel prices are increased every week, to the extent that only yesterday, fuel prices have been increased again, and we are buying 1 gallon of petrol and diesel for over 30 Ghana cedis. This is unacceptable, because A large portion of this cost is the imposition of taxes, which is under the control and which can be controlled by the government of the day. Finally, our farmers are crying. When the NDC were there, we were giving fertilizer free of charge to our farmers so that they can increase food production and feed this country. Today, fertilizer cannot even be found on the market for our farmers to buy. Today, there is shortage of maize to the extent that poultry farmers cannot even get maize to prepare feed to feed their poultry. If you want to know the size of the Ghanaian economy and the hardship that is being inflicted on us, just look at the size of Kinki and you understand where Nana Akufo-Addo and Bamia has taken this country to. So I will end by expressing once again our thanks to the chiefs and people of the Volta region, our party at all levels, for their commitment and their support, because the Volta region continues to be the World Bank of the NDC and will for a very long time continue to the World Bank, because when we check the statistics, Volta region gave us 84.8% of the vote, the highest in the country. And I must also put it on record that even in other regions where we did very well and won several seats, it can be traced to the presence of the large number of Votarians who were in those constituencies, who have shown faith and commitment to the NDC. We want to once again thank you and say the NDC is very, very indebted to you. I will end by calling on the government. Whatever is happening to our borders, the government must, as a matter of urgency, listen to the cry of the people. The people of Volta region demonstrated recently. This government says that no more. And that attitude is not good for the governance of this country. Once again, thank you for the opportunity and God bless us all. Thank you.
So the party anthem, the party.
Arise for Ghana, a patron of the land, for wealth and secure future, development our goal, from vision to vision, the NDC shall lead, able democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity, from vision to vision, the NDC shall lead, able democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity.
Hello. Shall we now listen very, very, very attentively to the former president of the Republic of Ghana and the leader of the NDC, the person of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you. Eza, Ezu, Ehejo, MFA. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our friend and brother, Togbi Afede, the Agbogbo of the Asogli state, and your chiefs and elders, I want to begin by thanking you for this wonderful reception you have given us at the Asogli Palace at such short notice. Even though the notice was short, the turnout of yourself personally to receive us and your chiefs gives us the impression that we have always had, that this is our home and anytime we come, we shall be warmly welcome. Togbi, let me thank you as the Chief Executive of Accra House of Folk for your very wonderful victory. And we expect that the never say die attitude of Accra House of Folk will also infuse the NDC to never say die until the bones are rotten. And so we am told that the cloth you are wearing is a symbolism of your happiness. We were supposed to meet the Regional House of Chiefs. At the time we had intended to schedule this visit. But unfortunately, scheduling problems made it difficult for us to do so. And so we, coming onto your soil, extended a notice to you that we would want to visit your palace, and you very readily accepted us. It is my hope that at a future date, we'll have the opportunity to come again to the Volta region and meet the whole of the Regional House of Chiefs like we have done in other regions. Myself and our party, the NDC, are highly indebted to the people of the Volta region for your continued support throughout the years, in happiness, in sorrow, throughout whatever condition we go through. The people of the Volta region have stood behind the NDC. And I want to assure you that we don't take your support for granted at all. We appreciate your support and we don't take it for granted. As you know, I myself have some roots in the Volta region because my stepmother who brought me up, Joyce Ablata Maklo, from when I was 9 years old till I finished university, is here from the Volta region. And so I consider myself as a son of the Volta region. Aside from that, many of my friends and many of the people who work very closely with me are here from the Volta region. And so I still owe a debt of gratitude to the region. I believe that this region has done a lot to propel the fortunes of the NDC and my own personal fortunes to the heights that we have reached. Togbi, I want to thank you because you are not only my Royal Majesty, but you're also a friend and a comrade. We have worked together for many years. From when I was an MP until I became Vice President, I remember the many trips you went to China trying to get the Asogli project started. It started under the presidency of His Excellency Ajekum Kufuor. But I remember that the actual project, the beginning and implementation of the project began under Professor Ivan Satamils, of whom I feel privileged to have served as his Vice President. A lot of the legwork in getting that Asogli plant into operation was done by you, and we want to congratulate you for that. We worked again on Asogli Phase 2, and it came in at a time when we were suffering from an acute power crisis, which was popularly called Dumso in Ghana. and Asogli Phase 2 and Phase 1 played a very important role, together with Ameri and all the other emergency power plants we brought in to resolve the Dumsor project. I was browsing the social media recently, and I saw you in some bushes far away in Cameroon. And I said, what is Togbe doing here in Cameroon? And in the end, I got to know that what you did for your own country, Ghana, you are extending it continent-wide and trying to get the people of Cameroon power to be able to develop their economy and also be able to stand on their feet. I know that you are going to Congo too. And so there's something that we say in the Bible, that the stone that is rejected by the builders shall become the head corner stone. And Togbe, it means that, as the Bible also says, sometimes a prophet is never recognized in his own country. Togbe, there are several issues that I want to raise, but today our main purpose for coming here is to pass through you to extend our thanks to all the chiefs and people of the Volta region for the continuous support that you give us. Even though today the Volta region has been split and we have the OT region, if you still look at the votes that we got in 2016, the votes that we got in the part that is now called the Volta region went up by 113,000 votes. And this was despite all the intimidation during the registration, the closure of the borders, the Western Togoland issues, and the invasion of soldiers into the Volta region. NDC still appreciated in votes by 113,000 votes. And so if NDC went from about 4.7 million votes to almost 6.3 million votes, the appreciation in the votes that NDC got in the 2020 elections, 113,000 of those votes came from the Volta region alone. Of the 18 constituencies that we have in the Volta region, NDC took 17 of them. And we would have taken the other one, but for the machinations that took place, that have resulted in a situation where some of our citizens do not have representation in parliament. And I'm talking about SAL, the Central Kofi, Akpafo, Likpe, and Lolobi people, who today are paying taxes but have no representation in parliament. And the theory that I knew was that no taxation without representation. And yet today, the government of Ghana is taxing the people of SAL, and yet they have nobody to represent them in parliament. And so we got 17 constituencies out of 18. But you don't get a true picture of the votes in every region without looking at the percentage. And the percentage is what our chairman mentioned. The Volta region, we got the highest percentage of votes than any other region in the country. Because we got 84.8%. This is the highest votes than any other region in the country. And so if you see us here today, we're here to say thank you and thank you, and tell you that we appreciate what you've done for us, and we don't take it for granted. Dogby, two more things. There's a lot of propaganda, especially from our colleagues in the MPP. And they say that Volta region doesn't see any development under NDC. Dogby, that is a palpable falsehood. Everything that is here in the Volta region, from electricity to water to schools to hospitals to universities to roads, everything here in the Volta region has been done under NDC. This morning, I was on the radio station, and I don't know how to say it in Ewe. But and they say, Madam Siniwa Brochre. My witness is traveled abroad. Our witness is right here. Togby, when we came into office, the Volta region had no public university. There was no university here. Any child who wanted to go to university had to leave the Volta region and go to Cape Coast or to Kumasi or to Legon. And Professor Mills of blessed memory said that no, every region must have one public university. Today, thank God, we have the University of Health and Allied Sciences. And today we don't only have the University of Health and Allied Sciences, we also have the whole technical university because of NDC. But everything we started has also come to a standstill, because as part of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, we were supposed to have two campuses, one in Hohoi, one in Keta. Today, all that work has come to a standstill. We were working on the Eastern Corridor Road. It has come to a standstill. Volta region alone had 7 new community day schools that we were working on. And these were in North Tongu, South Tongu, Avenopeme, Aflao, Ziope, Adaklu, Tongo, in South Dai. And these were the community day secondary schools we were building. They've all come to a standstill. Togby, I remember we discussed, and during our tenure we said we're going to give the roads of Ho a facelift. And truly, we did 20 kilometers of asphalting in Ho Township alone. We also gave the contract for the dual carriageway from Sokode to Ho. And that dual carriageway, we awarded on contract. The junction at Uhas was supposed to be an interchange. Today I see that they are doing just a runabout. It was not a runabout, it was an interchange. And so if you were going to Uhas, you were supposed to go down and pass under and go to Uhas. Let them build the runabout. When we come, we will put the interchange there. Togby, there is a lot that I can talk about. As I said, a lot of the things that we're working on have come to a standstill. We put in a new water system at Adidome, and it was supposed to serve the whole area all the way to Adaklu and Ziope. We finished the water treatment system, and we're yet to do the distribution of the water to bring it all the way to Adaklu. Since then, it has come to a standstill. Togby, I want you to challenge people who come here. Let them not say we're working on 742 projects in Volta region. They should come with a list and name them one by one, as I am doing here. We can point physically to the projects that we have done in this region. We can point physically to the projects that we have done in the whole of the country. Let nobody come and say the projects that I have invested in are bearing fruits. Where are those projects? If they are bearing fruits, we will see the fruits ourselves. But we don't see those fruits anywhere. But I want to assure you that I know that the Volta region will stand again behind us in 2024. And I want to assure you that when NDC comes into power, the Volta region will get its fair share of the national cake. My final word is about the last election. In the last election, a lot of things went wrong. But for the peace of the nation, we accepted and went along. Asogli, we admired your frankness and your boldness when you were chairman of the House of Chiefs. Since you left, the voice of that house is muted. And that is the truth. The voice of that house on national affairs is muted. There are a lot of things that are going wrong in this country, and the House of Chiefs is silent. Times are hard. You, the chiefs, are the ones who are the grassroots to the people. You know the hardship the people are going through. And at a time like this, if the House had a bold leader like you, I'm sure you'd have drawn the government's attention to what is going on in the country. Unfortunately, that is not the case. A lot of things went wrong in the last election. I remember we came to you and we complained to the House of Chiefs. And you were proactive. You called the Electoral Commission and put the things we said before them. And they went and were supposed to come back to you with answers. Because they had no answers, when you called them again, they didn't come. And they went ahead and held the elections that were held. Unfortunately, 8 of our compatriots were killed during that election. Many things went wrong. Excess ballot papers were printed. People took ballot papers in their pockets and went and stuffed ballot boxes. Asogli, we went along because we wanted the peace of the nation. We still want the peace of the nation. But for 2024, we want to serve notice. That we will do everything to make sure that the 2024 election will be transparent, fair, and clean. We won't want to cheat anybody. And we will not make any attempt to cheat anybody. But we also will make sure that nobody cheats us. And so, when I say the election will be a do or die affair, I don't mean that we will do violence in the election. We will play our hearts out the way House of Folk played yesterday. To make sure that we win the election. So Asogli, I want to thank you very much. May God richly bless you and your traditional leaders. May God bless the NDC. And may God give us victory in the 2024 elections. And as I speak, the heavens have opened up and are showering blessings on us to show that this has been a very auspicious visit. We thank you very much. God bless you all.